we are in a great position in Australia. If you look at COVID around the world, Australia has done so well. We are right now an incredibly attractive place for talent and for investment. Make the most of that.
What role should government play in Australia's startup and innovation ecosystem? It's a big question and one that will be answered on this episode of Tomorrow's Tech. Hi there, I'm Sam, and today we welcome on the show Dr Sarah Pearson. Sarah is currently serving as the Deputy Director General of Innovation for Queensland and holds a PhD in particle physics. She brings experience as the Global Head of Open Innovation for Cadbury in the UK and also as CEO of Australia's National University Enterprise Arm. Welcome on the show, Sarah.
Thank you, Sam. It's such a privilege to be here.
Now, as a physicist committed to growing deep tech industries in Australia, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs looking to commercialise their STEM ideas?
Firstly, thank you so much for all that you do, because if we look at future economies, 75% of high growth jobs need STEM, 65% of them don't exist yet. So you are crucial to our economic future. Please keep going. It's such a fabulous place to be working. Keep going. Secondly, don't get too taken up with the technology that you forget about the impact you're trying to drive or the customers you're trying to reach. It's very easy to get excited about the tech, but remember the outcome. Now, to help with that, ask questions. Ask. Ask your family, ask your investors, ask government, ask people in the street, your consumers, ask people for their advice, and take the negative advice too, and realise that will help you to build a better product to give you global success.
Correct.
Thirdly, I'd say look for really good investors. It's not just about the money, it's so much more than the money. Look for investors who understand your tech, understand your market, or have networks into those markets that you're trying to get into. And also make sure that you have investors that are really willing to work with you, that are willing to give you the bad news as well as the good news, so that you can take that on board and be successful, and that the chemistry works, that you know you're going to be able to work together as a team. Lastly, if you're an entrepreneur and you're out trying to get technology into your company, make sure that you are using this contact sport concept of innovation. Go out and meet technologists. I'd recommend you do that through one, maximum two networks or hubs. And there's some great examples across Australia. Here in Queensland, we have the Artificial Intelligence Hub in Fortitude Valley in our precinct, and that's a great way to get in to meet those technologists around that technology.
Some great tips there, Sarah. Now, what role do you believe government should play in Australia's startup and innovation ecosystem?
A really great question, and I think firstly I want to start with the ecosystem is so much more than government. Government is just one piece of it, and the really important bit is that we get all of the stakeholders working together. So we need big business, small business, startups and entrepreneurs, the research base, government, all the supporters and the cheerers.
Bring them all together.
Bring them all together, exactly. Get them to agree to some common vision and goal they're really passionate and excited about, and then just make sure they're all connected and they can help one another. So I think that's really, really important. We're looking at that right now in Queensland Government to see what we can do to be helping that. Not that government is doing to the ecosystem, but how do we help that ecosystem? There have been models from Smart States to Advanced Queensland, the Office of the Queensland Chief Entrepreneur, but what's the next one that we need to do to help that ecosystem? Lastly, I'd say that there is obviously a role for government. Government is neutral territory that can help with these collaborations. Obviously, there will be some funding gaps, and government needs to think about how they can help with that or leverage other money that's around there. And then also to inspire and tell the stories so we can attract more investment to Australia for this.
And how do you believe entrepreneurs can leverage organisational bodies like Advanced Queensland, Trade Investment Queensland, or even Austrade to support their business growth?
I think keep two things in mind. Firstly, it's your journey. You know, government cannot do it for you. They might do it with you, but it's your journey. So take ownership of that and be excited and passionate about that. Secondly, be really clear about what you want. What do you want? Why do you want it? And what will the outcomes that you will drive? If you take that clarity to a government agency, they then know exactly what you need, and they can either give it to you or connect you with someone who can. Also think of government just like you would with a venture capitalist or any investor. You know, an investor wants to know what's the return on investment, which could be impact, it could be jobs, for instance, or it could be obviously financial. So think through what is in it for government, and then make sure that you're helping them see that that's what you're doing.
That's great advice.
Yeah. And then remember that we are in a great position in Australia. If you look at COVID around the world, Australia has done so well. We are right now an incredibly attractive place for talent and for investment. Make the most of that. And there's some really great organisations around that can really help you with that. So obviously Austrade, Trade Investment Queensland are very experienced at helping you with that. So reach out and get them to help you.
Now, through your career, you've driven innovation and change, Sarah. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs who are looking to do the same? What perspective would you offer that you've learned from your successes and failures?
I think firstly, keep your eye on the goal. Remember, you're trying to do something, you're trying to achieve something. It could be that you're trying to disrupt healthcare through artificial intelligence. It could be that you're trying to transform education through big data. It could be that you're trying to get technology into your new products and services within your company. You will have so many barriers. Believe me, there'll be so many naysayers, no, we can't do this, doesn't fit with it. So you really need to be passionate about your goal, but keep that goal in mind. Don't get pulled down by all the no. Keep that in mind. Secondly, remember, you don't have to do it on your own. It's not a lone journey. It feels like a lone journey, but you're not on your own. There are others that can help you. The classic example I really love is Clorox and Procter & Gamble. So two big global brands with strong markets, globally, very strong competitors, but they both knew they had a piece of technology that on their own they couldn't do anything, but together they could do something amazing. And that's where the Glad brand was born, through that collaboration of two competitors. So put aside ego, put aside no, think about your goal, find your partners and get yourself to success.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your perspective and joining us on the show.
Absolute pleasure, Sam.
And to our viewers, if you enjoyed this episode and want to join the conversation, follow us weekly across our Tomorrow's Tech LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. And let us know in the comments below what role you believe government should play in Australia's startup and innovation ecosystem. For now, we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for joining and see you next time on Tomorrow's Tech.
Tomorrow's Tech, presented by 3 Dot Digital.